Hello, Huntington Beach. Today, I'd like to welcome Joseph Contreras, Partnership Specialist at the Los Angeles Regional Census Center. He and his colleagues have been working around the clock to canvass our city and help our residents complete their 2020 census forms. We know some of our residents are unsure about completing their forms and would certainly appreciate more information to guide their decision. So I've invited Joseph to answer 5 frequently asked questions to provide more information about the census. So Joseph, welcome. We know that the census happens every 10 years and it's really important for local communities. Can you explain why that is?
Yes. Thank you, Mayor Semeta, for having me join you today. It's important that we get a complete and accurate count of everyone living in the United States, because that's what will determine how many seats each state gets in the House of Representatives, and so it's important for fair representation. At the local level, it is important that we get a complete and accurate count of communities so that billions of dollars of federal funds can be distributed to those communities which are needed for emergency response, for medical assistance, for school and educational programs, for senior and veteran services, for roads, for housing, and so much more. The demographic information that's collected by the 2020 census is helpful to paint a picture of a community, help us see how a community has changed over the past 10 years, and how we can meet their needs for the next 10 years.
So it really is important. If people don't respond, they're not counted, and we lose some of the funding and some of our representation. So
Yes.
that helps explain it. So how is Huntington Beach doing? What's our percentage of response so far?
Well, Huntington Beach has been doing great in self-response. In fact, the self-response rate for Huntington Beach as of today is 76.4%. And for cities in California with at least 200,000 in population, that's the best self-response rate. Huntington Beach's self-response rate is better than that of the entire county, the state of California, and even the national level. So when you take the self-response rate and add to that the responses that our census takers are collecting as they go into neighborhoods, nationally, we are at 89.4% counted. The state of California is at 92.6% counted, and so Huntington Beach is in a great position to have a fair and complete and accurate count.
Well, that makes me proud of our residents. I'm glad to know that we're doing a good job at that. So one of the concerns that I do have and I hear from people is about confidentiality and privacy. Can you help us get some assurance on that?
Yes, absolutely. When someone responds to the 2020 census, immediately when they submit the response, it's encrypted and it's entered into an internal system which is protected by many levels of safeguards and firewalls. Only authorized Census Bureau employees have access to it for statistical purposes only. And of course, that system is monitored daily. In addition to that, federal law protects personal information. Title 13 of the U.S. Code ensures confidentiality. And if a Census Bureau employee shares personal information, they will be punished by a $250,000 fine, 5-year imprisonment, or both. So the Census Bureau only produces statistics that in no way make an individual identifiable, and the Census Bureau does not share its information with any government or law enforcement agency.
So hearing all of that, I think is going to really assure people that it is private and they shouldn't be concerned. So, but what about, we're close to the end, right, of when they can respond. Is it too late, or can we still get everybody counted?
Right, it is not too late. This month, folks can still self-respond online at 2020census.gov. They can respond by phone at 844-330-2020, and both online and by phone, there are 13 different language options available. Also, a final mail-out has been sent out to areas with low response. That mail-out includes a questionnaire, so they can send that in as well. And finally, when a census taker comes to the door, they can respond that way as well.
So that really begs the question, when that person comes and knocks on your door, how do you know that's a legitimate census worker?
Right, that's a very important concern. When a census taker comes to the door, first of all, you should notice that they have an ID badge, very similar to the one I have here. It will have their photo, an expiration date, an ID number, which you can verify on the 2020 Census webpage, and it will also have the Department of Commerce logo on it. The census taker will also have a Census Bureau issued iPhone, a carrying case that has the Census Bureau logo. Oftentimes their car will have a placard on it that says official business. And it's also good to know that every census taker, they will always wear a face covering. They will practice 6-foot distancing. In fact, they will never enter a home. And they practice good hand hygiene, and the CDC has determined that this is a low-risk activity.
So there's no harm in asking, can you show me your badge, if someone's concerned?
Right, absolutely,
Yeah.
and they'll be happy to do that.
Okay. Well, all of that is very reassuring. You've been really helpful today, and we really appreciate you being with us and giving us all this information. And I hope that Huntington Beach, we're doing fantastic, but I hope we get to 100%.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
Thank you.